Guys, welcome back to my channel. In my last video I discussed everything about express entry, how you can use express entry to immigrate to Canada as a permanent resident. So if you have not watched that video, I recommend you go back to watch it first before you can actually watch this one, so that you'll be able to understand the process. So in today's video, I'll be discussing the Provincial Nominee Program. For short, I'll be calling it the PNP. So when you see anywhere PNP, you know it means Provincial Nominee Program, because it can actually boost your comprehensive ranking score. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell icon, so that you'll be first to be notified each time I upload a new video. So if you're looking for a way to boost your comprehensive ranking score, getting a province to nominate you is one of the ways, because if a province should nominate you, it will add 600 points to your comprehensive ranking score. So if you're interested in this video, stay tuned. So I'll be discussing 4 different provinces today that you can apply to, so that you will get your 600 points. I'll be discussing Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, as well as Ontario in this video. Then in my next video, I will also discuss other provinces. So firstly, I'll be discussing the Alberta. Formerly, the Alberta was known as the Alberta Immigrant Nominee Program, but it was recently changed in February 16, 2022 to Alberta Advantage Immigration Program. This Alberta program have 2 major streams, which is streams for workers and streams for entrepreneurs. Under the streams for workers, we have the Alberta Opportunity Stream, Alberta Express Entry Stream, and Renewal Stream. Okay, then under the streams for entrepreneur, we have the Rural Entrepreneur Stream, Graduate Entrepreneur Stream, Farm Stream, and Foreign Graduate Entrepreneur Stream. So I'll be summarizing each of these streams and how you can be eligible. So firstly, we have the Alberta Opportunity Stream. This stream is for temporary foreign workers who are already working full-time in Alberta and have a full-time job offer from an Alberta employer in an eligible occupation. You can apply on your own. I'll be placing a link in the description box below. So if you also have a postgraduate work permit, you are a graduate in an Alberta, any of the Alberta institution, of course a designated learning one, but you need to have an occupation that is also in demand. You are also eligible to apply. Also, those with open work permit must also meet the same specific occupation before you can be eligible. But if you are working outside Alberta, or a refugee, or you're working in Canada but don't have a valid temporary residence in Canada, you're not eligible to apply for this program. Okay, like I said, I will be dropping the link so that you know the things that is required for you to be eligible. Okay, though most of the occupations, like those occupations that fall under category NOC O, A, B, C, and D, some of them are eligible. Also, if you are a postgraduate work permit holder, your occupation must also be related to your field of study in Alberta. You will also need a language test results. If your occupation is NOC O, A, or P, a minimum score of band 5 in each skill is needed for either English or French. Then for NOC C or D occupation, a minimum of band 4 in each skill is needed for English or French. But I always tell people to go higher to increase your points. Then also know that if your NOC is 3413, a band score of band 7 is required for English or French. Okay, so that's all about for the Alberta opportunity stream. Then for the Alberta express entry stream, in this stream basically qualified candidates are usually invited to apply for nomination for permanent residents. But those people that are tech workers, you can apply and the processing time will be reduced, because tech workers basically they are hot cake. Okay, so there are some criteria that you can receive a notification of interest from Alberta. Like if you have an active express entry pro that won't expire like in 5 months time, you have a high chance of getting a notification of interest. Secondly, if your primary occupation supports Alberta's economic diversification. With that, what I mean is if your occupation is in demand. So for you to know, you need to check the other draws in Alberta so that you will know the major occupations that are always in demand. Thirdly, if you stated an interest in immigrating permanently to Alberta, you know, when you're filling your express entry profile, there's a place that it will ask you which province you would like to stay. So if you pick Alberta, you will get a notification of interest. Okay, but I always recommend people to pick all provinces so that you will not limit your chances. Then fourthly, you need to have a minimum comprehensive ranking score of 300. Alberta also considers people that wrote French language. Okay, if your French is, you make your French as your primary language, you also have a chance to get notification of interest. Okay, so there are some things that you can do to actually increase your chances to get notification of interest from Alberta. One of them also is you have a job offer in Alberta, then you are a graduate of a Canadian post-secondary institution. That's if you graduated from Alberta. If you have a parent, child, brother or sister who is a permanent resident living in Alberta, then you might be invited to apply. So ensure that your profile does not expire soon. If your profile is expiring like in 3 months time or in 4 months time, you might not get notification of interest from Alberta. So that's it about the Alberta express entry stream. Then the next is the rural renewal stream. In this stream, qualified candidates who have a job offer from an Alberta employer to work in a designated rural Alberta community can apply for nomination. Normally, communities that are less than 100,000 are eligible. Meaning, if you have a job offer and that community is less than 100,000, you are eligible to apply for this program. Or if the community is less than 10,000 residents. In fact, this type of people, they have more points. When you apply to communities that their resident is less than 10,000, it adds to your points, so you can apply under this rural renewal stream. Okay, then the next I'll be discussing is the rural entrepreneur stream. These are for entrepreneurs who wants to start a business or buy an existing business in a rural Alberta community. You can submit your expression of interest if you're interested in starting up a business in a rural community. Firstly, an exploratory visit will be scheduled with the communities. I'll be dropping the link of the communities and their contacts, so you can go find their contacts. Then you need a minimum of 3 years work experience as an active business owner or a manager, or a minimum of 4 years of experience as a senior manager within the past 10 years. Then you need to have a minimum of high school, which is equivalent to the Canadian standard, meaning you have to do an ECA so that they will know the equivalent to Canada standard. Okay, you also need a language benchmark of 4 on each skills in English or French. Then you need to have a net worth of $300,000. Okay, then not just if you don't have the money personally, if your spouse or your common law partner have the money, you can use that as well. Then you must be willing to invest a minimum of $200,000. But if you have higher amounts compared to that, more points will be awarded to you. So these are the major things that is required under this stream. So if you need more, or if you want to know more about it, I will also be dropping a link for you. Then the next is the graduation entrepreneur stream. So basically in this stream, you can submit an expression of interest if you are an international graduate of approved Alberta post-secondary institution who wants to start a business or have an existing business. So in order for you to be eligible, you need to be a graduate of at least 2 years program. If you graduate from like 1 year program, you will not be eligible. And you also need to have a valid postgraduate work permit as at the time of your expression of interest. You need to have an English or French language score of band 7 for each skills. Then the business must be among the eligible business. I'll also place a link there so that you know the eligible businesses that is required. Then the next is the farm stream. Experienced farmers who plan to buy or start a farm in Alberta can apply for permanent resident. So all you need to do is to submit a proposed business plan for assessment. To be eligible, you must prove that you have a farm management skills, and you must be able to invest a minimum of 500,000 Canadian dollars. That's all you need for the farm stream. Then for the foreign graduate entrepreneur stream, this is for foreign graduates from outside of Canada. You can apply for permanent residence. If, for example, you want to launch a startup enterprise or innovative businesses in Alberta, meaning you want to start a new business entirely that is not in Alberta originally. So all you need to do is to have a minimum of 6 months work experience. You need to have a business plan, and you'll be required to make a 10 minutes presentation to outline the proposed business. And you also need a minimum of band 5, either English or French language. Okay, so this is everything you need to know about going through the Alberta immigration program if you want to add 600 points. Next, I'll be discussing the British Columbia. Basically, the British Columbia, you need to have a job offer if you want to go through the British Columbia, and there are 3 major pathways for the British Columbia. One is the skills immigration, secondly entrepreneurial immigration, thirdly strategic projects. So these programs enable the province to select and nominate foreign workers, both international students and entrepreneurs, to help meet with British Columbia's labor market needs and support the government priorities, and also help to boost their economy. So British Columbia basically requires a job offer. If you're already in the express entry skill, you must have a job offer from the British Columbia for you to be able to apply. Then the entrepreneur immigration, like the name implies, is for those people that would like to start up a business. So I'll be dropping the link for the British Columbia so that you know major requirements, some of the major requirements that you will need if you want to apply to the British Columbia. So the next province I'll be discussing is the Manitoba. Manitoba have 3 major streams. We have the skilled worker streams, international education stream, the business investor stream. So under the skilled worker stream, we have the skilled workers in Manitoba and skilled workers in overseas. So basically the difference between these skilled workers in Manitoba and skilled workers in overseas means that the difference is the skilled workers in Manitoba, meaning you're already in Manitoba and you have employment going on there, so you can apply for permanent resident. Then if you have foreign work experience and you are outside Manitoba or you are outside Canada, there are some things that you need to do so that you'll be eligible for you to apply in this program. You need to have ties to their province. For example, if you have a family or friend that is staying there, or maybe you've attended any of their school designated learning institute, of course, in their province, you can apply. Or if you have an invitation from them directly, you can also apply in this stream. Okay, then for the international education stream, this is basically for those people that graduated from Manitoba. If I start listing the requirements, is numerous. So what I did, I will tabulate the requirement on a tabular form, then I will be placing it on my Instagram page so that you can see the summary of the requirement for the international education stream. Okay, but what I need you to know that the international education stream, they have 3 categories. We have the career employment pathway, that's 1. Then we have the graduate internship pathway, 2. And lastly, we have the international student entrepreneur pilot. So on my Instagram page, I've been able to tabulate the requirement for each of those programs. So you need to check it out so that you know the requirement for each of them. The last is the business investor stream. This is for those that has the ability to start or purchase a business in Manitoba. Initially, you make a deposit of $100,000, but now it's no more required. So under this stream, there are two pathways. There is the entrepreneurial pathway for applicants seeking to open a business, and we have the farm investor pathway as well for those intending to establish and operate a rural Manitoba. Okay, so those are the two pathways that you can use for this business investor stream. So I'll be dropping a link so that you will read more about the Manitoba, but basically these are the things that will make you to be eligible if you want to go through the Manitoba. So lastly, I'll be discussing the Ontario. Ontario is one of the major provinces that people like to go to because one, it does not require anything like job offer. Once you have your English and French, you might be eligible to apply through the Ontario. So I will run down through the process so that you will know which one you are qualified, which stream you are qualified, so that you can apply through the Ontario. Under the Ontario, we have the one you can submit to express your interest, and we also have the one that the province can send you a notification of interest. So the one you can express your interest is one, the employer job offer. Secondly, we have the one is the employer job offer, which is for foreign worker stream. This is basically for a skilled worker, a foreign skilled worker with a job offer in Ontario. Meaning, if you are outside Canada and you have a job offer in Ontario, you're qualified for this foreign worker stream. Then secondly, under the employment job offer as well, we have the international student stream. This is basically for those people that graduated recently with a job offer in Ontario. So if you're a graduate in Ontario and you have a job offer, you can express your interest in the province. Thirdly, still under the employer job offer is in-demand skilled stream. So if your job is in demand, you can apply under this stream. It's basically for foreign workers in an in-demand occupation with a job offer in Ontario. So if your occupation is in demand and you have a job offer, you can apply. Fourthly, master's graduate stream. So you can apply if you have a master's degree from an Ontario university. Fifth, the PhD graduate stream. You can apply if you have a PhD degree from an Ontario university. Okay, so these are those ones that you can put an expression of interest to the Ontario. That's why when you're going through study route, these are some of the things you have to consider. The provinces that have a pathway to permanent residence, like this Ontario, they have the master's graduate stream and the PhD graduate streams. So if you're going through the school route, you can decide to look for schools, designated learning institutes that are in Ontario, because you know that after your school you can apply for their provincial nominee program, and then you get your permanent residence. Okay, then for those people that have that they can give you a notification of interest is maybe you're already in the express entry pool and you're looking for a province that you want to nominate while you are in the pool, Ontario is also there. So one, you have the human capital priority stream. So notification of interest is sent to people who their jobs is in demand in Ontario. For you to know if your job is in demand, what I recommend you to do is to check other draws, the draws that they've done previously, to see if your job is in demand. If your job is in demand, so you have a high chance to get a notification of interest from the Ontario. Secondly, the skilled trade streams. The skilled trade stream. This is a notification of interest is sent to foreign workers with Ontario work experience in an eligible skilled trade. Then the French-speaking skilled worker stream. A notification of interest can be issued to individuals that speaks French with strong English language abilities. So if you speak French and you speak English, you have a chance of getting a notification of interest from the Ontario province. You need to have a minimum of band 7 in English for you to get a notification of interest, and also a minimum of band 7 in French to get a notification of interest from this Ontario. Usually there is always a range that the Ontario sends notification of interest. They have a range of comprehensive ranking scores that they normally use. So if you want to fall under this category, I recommend you go back to their previous draws so that you always know the range and position yourself so that you in their draws you'll be qualified. So all these are the things that will make you to be eligible in any of those provinces. So I will be dropping the links below, okay, so that you can read further. And on my Instagram page as well, I'll be summarizing each of these requirements, so you can as well go to my Instagram page to follow. So this is the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe and try to watch my next video for other provinces. Thank you very much for watching.